Morata. Back on stop. Here come the players. Let's start off with the goalkeeper, shall we? Marcus Bettinelli. Here's your favourite young man, it's Reece James.
Hello and welcome to Matchday Live. Welcome back to Stamford Bridge as well after an international break. I'm back with the boys, Calvin Harris and Mariano, who were singing along nicely a second ago.
We were singing.
Didn't catch it as well because the song finished just before you started. But boys, always a pleasure to be in your company. Sam, international break, it felt like a long one, didn't it?
Yeah, it felt too long. Like, I think it was just 2 weeks, but it genuinely felt like 3 months. And I think that's more because of the fact that we were doing so well before we went into the international break. Then it kind of is like, oh, we've got to watch England, we've got to watch all these other... Not saying it in that way, I don't mind watching England, but you've got to watch all these internationals, man. I just want to watch Chelsea play, so good to be back, man.
Especially because that performance against Everton was really good, so on the back of a good run, and a little bit deflating to concede a late equaliser because I felt on the day our performance merited 3 points.
Yeah, I think that was why it was so upsetting, because that was probably one of the best performances I've seen from us this season. And I was doing commentary with Jason Ben up there, and it was like, you could see what we were trying to do, the chances we were creating, but I just knew if we give Everton that 10 minutes where they feel like they can score another goal, it can happen, and it literally did happen in that moment. And it's not a play on anyone, but it's one of those things where, because we've had this season, it's like we need every 3 points. I've said it before as well. Every game now up until the end of the season is a cup final. So yeah, it was gutting, but there was a lot of positives to take.
Quite cool, especially because the run that Chelsea were on to that point, you know, you get a good result against Leeds, you beat Dortmund in the Champions League, very good away performance away at Leicester. I suppose we deserve to go into the international break on that good run of form. Does that goal dampen it a little bit, or is it more about the performances and the run that we're still technically on?
Slightly, especially because of the position that we were in that game. We looked like set to win it. It would have been 4 wins out of 4, and then we're good to go, even with the international break. But we are still unbeaten in four games with 3 wins and a draw. And on the face of it, where we were before those run of fixtures, you definitely take it. Obviously, the international break, like Sam said, we love watching Chelsea. We love coming to the bridge and watching our team play, but it's probably giving us time to reset, maybe giving players time to get fit as well. Think about Kanté, who hopefully will be in the squad for today. It's a time for us to go again. The international break was a good time for us to reset, gather our thoughts, and now it's a run until the end of the season. I think we're probably in good shape to not challenge for the top 4 places, but challenge for some European places.
That's a really good point actually about N'Golo Kanté, because you'll have seen it on Chelsea's social media, especially Mason Mount and Thiago Silva supporting N'Golo Kanté's return to a pitch for Chelsea. Behind closed doors, he played 60 minutes in a friendly that Chelsea organised. Amazing to see him back on the pitch, Kwaku, because he's a player that's so important to this football club, and also just a player that makes you happy when he's playing football.
100%. People have been calling him playoff Kanté. He's back for the running. He's back for the important games, and that's what we need. He's one of the best centre midfielders in the world on his day when he's fit, and we haven't seen him enough this season. It's like a new toy for Graham Potter. You know that N'Golo Kanté next to anybody in that midfield is a problem, and I can't wait to see when he's fully fit, up and running. And this Chelsea side will look a lot different with him in it.
Big thing to say as well, Sam, is that he is coming off a very long injury layoff. He's not played for Chelsea since that 2-2 draw here at Stamford Bridge. I think it was August against Spurs in that 2-2. Yeah. He's not played under Graham Potter yet. He's been out for about 7 and a bit months. So this is a footballer that we know he's got two engines almost. You know, he's phenomenal when he's fully fit. But Chelsea fans, and I'm sure the coaching staff, they already have been, he was in the squad against Everton, but we need to be a little bit more protective and perhaps tailor our expectations a little bit. It's going to take a little bit of time to see the N'Golo we're used to. Yeah,
I think when you said that he hasn't played on the pot, I was actually quite shocked. But when I saw those videos of him training for Chelsea, it almost brought a tear to my eye, because we haven't seen him play for so long. You know, no player deserves to get injured ever, but when N'Golo got injured, it's like, why him? You know, he's that player that he just seems like he doesn't deserve anything bad happening to him. So to see him back is amazing, but also, you know, you've got to be cautious with a player like that. But one thing I can really credit Graham Potter for is he doesn't force anyone back. You know, Chilwell's had long injuries, James has had injuries, Loftus-Cheek, we've had quite a few injuries this season, and it doesn't seem to force people back before they're capable of playing those minutes. You know, he played 60 minutes behind closed doors, so I'm sure he's ready. He looks really sharp in training, but at the same time, keeping up to pace in the Premier League is a lot. So I think just him even just coming down the line to warm up is going to get the fans going. So it's just nice to have him back in and around the squad. And
also, I know it's a little cliche, we used to say it quite a lot, but 70% N'Golo Kanté is one of the best centre midfielders in the world.
Yeah.
So if you can get him at 70%, then all of a sudden if he's 100% and you're knocking on the door of Real Madrid at the Bernabeu and going, by the way, here's N'Golo Kanté fully fit, hasn't played for a long time but is ready and raring to go. What an opportunity for the run-ins. So like Kwaku said, almost like a new signing.
Yeah, I know for a fact that when players saw his smile in the training ground and the fact that he was up to pace, they were gutted because it's that true. He's a world-class player. He's coming to a side that is on the rise as well, and he's going to add such experience. He's won everything at Chelsea. It's one of those players that will lift the changing room, will lift the fans, and will add such a good atmosphere around the whole club. That is something that you need coming into the end of the season.
It's going to be important. And obviously, international break, Quaker, we saw quite a lot of Chelsea players off doing brilliant things for their country. I was impressed with Ben Chilwell for England as well, playing at left back. Not had a huge amount of opportunity because of injury and circumstance, but thought he was fantastic against Ukraine at the weekend. A lot of Chelsea players that have done brilliant work. Mateo Kovacic scored. I saw Mateo Kovacic score a tap-in, by the way, which I didn't think was possible. I didn't think he scored anything other than worldies, but when you see Chelsea players going and doing so well, makes me even hungrier for them to come back and play for Chelsea. And I think that Chelsea have had a good international break.
They have, and it's testament to how strong this squad is. A lot's been made about the spending in January, but we've got a world-class squad. It's about finding the right combinations on the pitch, and I'm sure that will come towards the back end of the season. And you talked about N'Golo Kanté lifting the squad. We want to lift the trophy this season, so this is a very important game in terms of Premier League, and there's still a lot to fight for. But we know everything is geared towards that game against Real Madrid next week. So it's or 2 weeks from now. So Chelsea, it's so exciting seeing this team because there's so many different stories, narratives. Obviously, Chilwell and James are now getting a nice run in terms of games together. N'Golo Kanté's back. Kai Havertz is in good form. It's all come together nicely at the right time. But we do need to get 3 points today to make sure we carry that on.
Another few players that played well internationally, Sam. João Felix scored for Portugal. I think Cristiano Ronaldo scored a couple. He celebrated like he won the World Cup on those occasions. But João Felix, for me, was the star of the show. I thought Mykhailo Mudryk as well played very well for Ukraine against England. When players go and perform well, obviously Graham Potter will have seen all of that. I wonder how much of an extra 10% that gives you on a training pitch, because especially players like Mykhailo Mudryk, who hasn't had a huge amount of time on the pitch for Chelsea thus far, you go away and play well for your country, and then you've got countless, copious Chelsea games in a very short period of time over the next few weeks. That almost shows that you've got players that aren't playing that are ready. So that must be a huge bonus for the coach as well. Yeah,
they're playing for their places, and they know how the competition at Chelsea is very tough. Madueke as well, he came off the bench for the under-21s and had a great game. And it's those things that, you come back to the training ground and be like, Gaffer, you see what I just did last week? That's the type of competition that you need, and they know that, coming back to Chelsea now, it's now until the end of the season, they're going to want to keep on fighting. So it's brilliant to see.
I'm definitely tagging him on Instagram, by the way, with those goals. I'm going, Gaffer, have a little look. Carney Chukwuemeka, captain England's under-20s during the break. Harvey Vale did it, likewise Levi Colwill, England's under-23s. David Fofana, Ivory Coast under-23s. So many Chelsea players, even ones that are out on loan, are doing brilliant work at the moment, which we are very, very fortunate. One or two are going to be on the coach, are going to be arriving in, a matter of moments, in fact. So we're going to cross to that in a second. But first, don't forget to get involved with Travago's Wherever You Go Wall. Wherever you are in the world today, watching Chelsea versus Aston Villa, send your tweets in, send your selfies in, send your pictures in, using that hashtag Wherever You Go. We'll react to some of them during the show, hopefully get a few more involved at the end of the game as well. So make sure you stay tuned. Up next, player arrivals.
absolutely. You know, it's a privilege to be at a club like Chelsea, one of the biggest clubs in the world. And you know, obviously a couple of years ago when I signed, I was obviously delighted to be here, delighted to sign, and you know, to be here now and see the club going through this transition phase and seeing what we're sort of developing. It's amazing to be a part of, and just buzzing to be here for the next couple of years. When I first moved here, it wasn't too far from where I've always been, and it's kind of always sort of felt like home in and around sort of Surrey and stuff. So to be here, at, like I said, at this amazing club, day in, day out, working with these players, with the staff and stuff, and you know, like I said, seeing where the club's moving towards and going in that direction, it's a pleasure to be a part of, hopefully for many years to come. Goes without saying, sort of Ben, H and Sherm, you know, they're fantastic guys to work with. You know, they bring the best out of each other as coaches, and they bring the best out of us as goalkeepers with me, Kep Sedu, so Gaga. So, you know, it's amazing to train there every day, to learn off them. They're all different in their own ways, and they bring the best out of us. So, you know, it's just about training every day and trying to improve, and sort of done the sort of last year and a half, and thankfully I'm going to have a couple more years to do that as well.
Greetings from the gantry, folks. How you doing? The international interruptions are over now for the rest of this season, and what a run we've got coming up. 8 games in 29 days. It is a bumper month of April. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Benjamin. Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, what a month. A season-defining month, you know, in so many ways. Obviously, there's the league that we got to look at, but, you know, obviously top 4 is far and it's gone, but we can still get Europe. We might get top 4 via the Champions League or Champions League football next season. So Real Madrid comes on the menu. Some tough games. There's some games there we should win. but it's a massive, the biggest month under Potter's reign, I would say, coming up. And they all seem to get bigger and bigger, of course they do.
Starting with Aston Villa here today, and the two clubs are separated right now only by goal difference. What a lot has happened, and more of it good for Villa than Chelsea, to be fair, since the last meeting. It's kind of the watershed moment, actually, that Villa win, after which everything went a little bit pear-shaped, and Villa, who were under Gerrard, he was gone within a week. Emery's come in. They've won 9 out of 18 under him. Chelsea in that time have won 7 out of 23. And right back then, Potter had drawn his first match, won the next 4. It was all looking very rosy. Kerr had a blinder, and Chelsea won at Villa Park. This will be tough. They are a good side. They have got, I was looking at it again a moment ago at my notes, at their squad, the people they've had missing recently. They've got a lot of good players, dangerous players. Watkins causes problems, Buendia, all sorts.
Do you know, that 2-0 victory in October, where I felt we were very fortunate to win that game, to nil, let alone to win it, 12 places separated us after that game. Now just goal difference. If they win here today, they go above us and we go 11th. That shows you the turnaround in what's happened at Villa and what Emery has brought, and how our season has kind of plateaued and dipped and gone up and plateaued. And look, this is the beginning of an enormous month. We just alluded to that. I don't think we can get away with a bad performance and a bad result, or a tepid performance, or, you know, one of those results you come away groaning or moaning, like a little bit like Everton. I don't think we can do that here today, Ben. I think we really do. It's like a mini season this month. It's enormous.
Well, the running starts here, doesn't it?
Yes,
basically.
it does.
After the international break, it's now. You know, the next 6 weeks, it's now.
Yeah,
this is the run-in now.
And this is a very different looking run-in to what we're normally used to, but the Champions League is still there. And I heard Unai Emery and McGinn talking this week. They're talking about Europa League football. We're above them. And I don't really hear those noises coming out of it. You know, we should be looking up and saying we can get. There's been so many false storms. Look, we're on a decent run, not brilliant. We're on a decent run at the minute, and should really have brought 3 points home here a couple of weeks ago, Ben, and we didn't. And we got pegged back and 2-2. Today's a game that if we win, I really go into the Liverpool game, and then you look ahead of what's coming up. Arsenal at the end of the month, Real Madrid twice. This could really be the springboard, and I mean this genuinely. Today I think is massive. Got to put a good performance in, got to win. If we come away feeling a little bit let down, I kind of feel as though the month might kind of go that way as well.
Well, it's the best momentum for a while, even with Everton doing what they did late on. Otherwise it would have been 4 straight wins, which hasn't happened for a very long time since Graham Potter took charge, actually, right at the beginning of his reign. But 3 wins and a draw to bring into this. Our second point for 3 points. Defending set pieces better, Jason. That Everton game was a real reminder, right? They offered so little for huge chunks of that game, but it is the great leveller, you know, and they nick one like that, and it is a reminder that we've got to defend them better, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you look back at the goal, and you often look back at goals and look at the way that teams scored it. You go, from their point of view, far post, Tarkowski, brilliant. Of course he's going to do that. That's what he's good at. And heads it across, and then it's who wins the second ball. We lost 2 headers. So both of those, so the ball comes in, didn't we win? And actually we didn't look like winning either of those headers. And that's where you go, come on, there's, you know, if you lose the first one, you often talk about second balls in the midfield, you know, when it might be a fight ball. If you don't win the first one, can you win the second one? And if you don't win that second one in the box, chances are there's going to be something on target. And in the end, Decore, he just flicked it across. All he's done is help the ball goalwards. It's not, you know, it's almost like, oh, what? I've got a back to go, I've got to help it on. He would have been as surprised as anyone when you saw his celebration, right? So yes, set pieces, and it's not just corners, it's those wide balls from deep areas where you can bring Tarkowski. As soon as Tarkowski comes up, who's marking Tarkowski? Koulibaly's got to be on him. I know we mark zonally at times, and you've got to make sure that those blockers go in and make sure they put the body up alongside them. But if the first ball can't be won, you've got to win the second.
And speaking of set pieces, Aston Villa have conceded more from set pieces than all bar one club in the Premier League this season. So our third point is to exploit that weakness, which brings us on to an old bugbear that we've often talked about up here, and I'm sure everywhere, probably on the whole of Planet Football, certainly Planet Chelsea. Ben Chilwell's corners have been so much better of late than those who were taking them when he's had his long spells out with injury. So that may well be something that Chelsea could take advantage of, never mind the Oppo doing it.
Delivery is absolutely crucial, Ben. You know, you often see teams, and I think this is a modern day football problem, to try and get that set piece in particular from wide areas, corners, and those balls that are just in around the box. To miss the first man, if you hit the first man, you hear the crowd groan. But there's nothing worse than a centre half running 70 yards up for a set piece, and it barely reaches your, you know, 15 feet of you, and that I think that's unforgivable. Give the opposition something to defend. You know, don't miss that first. I know you look at when the perfect delivery comes in, you see how devastating it can be. It's a flick on, then you are in big trouble as that defender. But get that first ball in, and you know, we've got bodies in there, Ben. You look at our team. Tell the team now, because we are capable, by the way, when you look at the team.
The team is in, and the news is 3 changes, and it's going to take a little bit of working out. Cucurella is in for Badiashile, Mudryk is in for Pulisic, and Loftus-Cheek is in for Fofana, not necessarily in those positions. We presume he's going to stay with 3 at the back and that Reece James will go in there, or is that just a presumption with Loftus-Cheek in there? We can't believe he's going to go to a 4. What do you make of it, Jason?
Well, I'll be very surprised if he does go to a 4, because he's come to this formula now where 3 at the back, we look good. I think we look solid defensively. We go forward. We look like an attacking threat. But it's so whatever the back line does, it will affect the front 3 or the front 2 or the front. Depends how you want to play. I think we are best off playing the system that we are, 3 at the back, and then you can either go to 4-3-3 or 3-4-2-1, which looks like we might do. We're narrow, but what that does then, that let the onus on Loftus-Cheek. So the fact that Koulibaly is in the middle and Cucurella on the left tells me I can't find how this is going to be a 4. I can't see it. I just don't see it. So it has to be a 3. What you've then got to do, you've got to have the width, high and wide. I have to say, some of Ruben's performances when we play a 3 as a right wing back, he's really impressed me. You know, he's done a much better job. There was a game Southampton
away when Timo Werner, it was 6-0. As I recall, yeah.
He was absolutely outstanding, and he got the role. He understood what he had to do, high and wide. But of course, the problem you've got then is if they play and they force us back, which they're in good form, they will fancy their chances defensively on that right-hand side, our right, their left. And you'll look to that thinking, how are they going to play this? Unai Emery will have a plan. It's about retention of the ball. Can you control the tempo of the game? Can you control the possession stats? And once we get that ball high and wide, I can't emphasise enough from our wing-backs. Reece does it brilliantly. I'm surprised if we are going to play a 3 that Badiashile's not starting. That's the one I can't quite.
Chalobah on that bench as well. No Fofana at all, incidentally, even amongst the subs. Just on that front line, probably pretty fluid. I thought Mudryk got his first start in it was the Leicester game. It was his first start for 4 weeks. He's getting another go today. Pace. I wonder if he will be as such a centre forward, if indeed will play with anyone there. Or?
Right. Okay. So if I have to have a moan about the Leicester game, I felt that we didn't use that space in behind enough. I felt we played a lot of our football in front of their back line. Even if you put one in and it doesn't necessarily find its target, what there needs to be is a threat. You've got to get their back line thing. And what you want Mudryk thinking, I can get in here, and if I can get in, if the ball's good enough, I can stretch that back line, take them back towards their own box. I don't think we did that enough until he went on the left-hand side. And then the game changed. He had his best minutes were actually when he was out on that left-hand side. He scored a goal that was marginally offside. It'll be interesting to see how we play Mudryk. You know, he's good. He can come to feet. But what's his biggest strength, Ben?
Rapido.
Pace. Scare them. Get them wondering. I know it's like as a centre half when you're up against someone that's pacey. Taylor, playing against Taylor here, he was quick, really quick, and you're worried about the pace. What you do, you then start to drop a bit deeper, and in doing so, allows that ball in there, and all of a sudden that 5 yards that you're off them, they can adapt, and we've got the players to do that.
Yeah, let's hope the boys play to the strength of Mykhailo Mudryk and indeed everyone else. We presume it'll be James on the right of a three, but it is very interesting, as is this game, and a very tough one to call, boys. Back to you down there.
Thank you very much, Ben, Jason. Brilliant work as always. Hello and welcome to Stamford Bridge pitchside. I'm with the boys, Sam and Kwaku. Lads, we've seen the team news. The brilliant Lee Parker's in mid-flight at the moment, shouting out the team sheet. You can hear the reaction of all the team news. What's the big one for you, Sam? Who's the big standout?
I think Mudryk starting is one that I've been calling for the last few weeks. I think he's such an exciting player and he will cause a lot of defensive problems. I know, it's a lot of pressure coming into a team like Chelsea at the time that he did, and the amount of players that in his position, but it's really nice to see him starting.
Also, Kwaku, the system is going to be something that we're going to keep a keen eye on, obviously. Is it a 3? Is it a 4 in some capacity? If it is a 3 with Reece on the right-hand side of a back 3, is there an argument to say that keeps him a little bit fresher for Liverpool, as well as playing today and not having to rest him?
100%. It means he doesn't have to exert himself as much as he would do if he's playing on the right-hand side. And I think the fact that we've got Cucurella and Chilwell playing suggests that it will be a back 3. It's interesting to see where Ruben plays and what positions he picks up. If he does come centrally, if he does stay out wide, he's a player that could cause Villa a lot of problems. So I think it's an interesting starting 11 from Graham Potter. It always is. And we should have more than enough to beat Villa today.
Is there an argument as well, Sam, when you're playing Ruben wide right, he's not going to give you the same width as a Ben Chilwell does on the other side? So perhaps you're making other spaces for Reece to still exploit going forward, as well as being solid defensively.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I think that I don't like to get too hung up on the formation, because I know with Potter's teams and what he's done at Chelsea so far, it's very fluid. So I won't be surprised if I see Reece James going forward and Loftus-Cheek dropping in centre back, and even Loftus-Cheek going into middle as well, depending on how much possession we have. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite fluid, and I know that Loftus-Cheek is used to playing with these guys on the right now. It's not his favoured position, but he can play the position really well. And
also, we spoke about it when we were having a little chat before kick-off, but you speak about the strength and depth that Chelsea are now welcoming back into the squad, and N'Golo Kanté amongst the substitutes. Benoit Badiashile on the substitutes bench as well. You're looking at players that really fully fit are probably starters for Chelsea, but the fact that we're in a position now where we don't have to rush them, perhaps, Benoit obviously played a lot of football for France under 21s during the international break as well. You can get in that position where you don't have to rush players, you don't have to force players, but still got that quality on the bench should you need.
Yeah, still got that strength and depth. And you asked us before, was the international break a good or a bad thing? I think by this squad selection and by this first 11 selection, it shows that it was a good thing. We've got time got moments to give players time to come back into the starting 11 rather than rushing them back. We've got such a strong squad, and the fact that it's 5 subs as well. If things aren't going our way in the second half, we've got an abundance of talent to call on from the bench. So I'm excited to see how Potter lines up this 11. Also excited to see the changes that he makes in the second half as well.
It's going to be interesting. Sam, is there a little argument as well, not an argument, maybe a question to say at points today we could see Ruben and Reece swap positions and Ruben playing a back 3. We saw it at Luton last year, but depending on how the game's going, depending on where the possession is and how much you want to influence the game, whether you're Ruben or Reece, you can make that change mid-game, can't you? Yeah,
100%. I think that might even be part of the game plan. I'm not too sure. I'm not in Potter's head, but when you see the type of players that they are and the fact that they can adjust so well and very versatile. Loftus-Cheek, he's played that role under other managers as well at centre-back. Reece James, we know he can play in multiple positions. So it's nice to have that in our teams. If something's not going right or if Loftus-Cheek's not getting that much joy, maybe he drops in and then Reece James changes position, and then it gives Aston Villa a whole new problem.
Kwaku, let's speak about the matchup that I think every person inside Stamford Bridge is looking forward to today. Potentially, Mykhailo Mudryk one-on-one with Ashley Young. Now, Ashley Young has had an incredible career. He's an absolutely top-class pro, fantastic footballer, done a lot for the game. Manchester United, Aston Villa, Watford, England. But, have to say, against an aging James Milner in the 20 minutes we saw Mykhailo Mudryk at Anfield, he was a problem.
Well, yeah, you called Ashley Young a top-class pro. You're a top-class pro for putting in that disclaimer, because Mudryk should have Ashley Young on toast. Let's be honest, he's one of the fastest players in the Premier League, and like you said, on his debut when he came off the bench at Anfield, he absolutely ripped James Milner apart, and I feel like starting in this game, having the confidence from starting the game as well, this is where we should see the best of Mykhailo Mudryk. And Ashley Young, like I said, has been a great servant to the game. He's played incredibly for the sides he played for. But Mykhailo Mudryk is a new, exciting talent that a lot of teams in Europe wanted. We were lucky enough to get him. Now he needs to go out and deliver there today.
On Mykhailo Mudryk as well, Sam, because there's an argument to say that a lot of players that come in with a large amount of sort of speculation around them, is he coming here, is he going to Arsenal, then, you know, the rumoured potential price tag of him, there's a lot of pressure immediately laid at the door of a very young man that's still making his way in the game. It's clear he is an absolute talent, like he's got all the ability in the world, but being in a position now where maybe Graham Potter's had a chance to bed him in slowly, that could be the best thing for a long-term Kyler Mudryk, couldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think Graham Potter's played it really well, you know. Obviously, as a fan as well, I've wanted to see more of him, but at the same time, there's a lot of pressure, like you said, players coming into a team like Chelsea at a time where we're not doing as well as we want to, you know, getting new signings. Everyone wants the signings to come and start and we start winning straight away. That doesn't happen all the time, you know. With Mudryk, he's really young, but what I really love about him is his mentality. You know, I've seen him talk about, you know, people counting him out, and he said, just wait for me, like, wait for me. And that's, like, that type of mentality. I've seen him in the gym all the time, see him working with his trainer. It seems like he's got his right head on his shoulders, everything is right in his mind, and that's where it starts. And then when on the pitch, all we need to do is see in the confidence, hopefully the goals and assists come.
Today, Ashley Young's going to be saying wait for me quite a lot, and as he darts past him. There's quite a lot going on, obviously. It's a big game for Chelsea. The run-in's quite difficult as well, Quaker. We've got a lot of big, important games coming up. Liverpool on Tuesday, but it's important, I suppose, as well, to not look past today, because Aston Villa are on good run of form. Under Unai Emery, they look a different beast to Steven Gerrard, and they're a very, very capable side.
They are. There's only 3 teams since Unai Emery came in that have picked up more points than Villa in the league this season since Emery's been the manager. So we can't underestimate this Aston Villa side, but like I said multiple times, Chelsea have got the quality. It's now about putting it together. We were in good form for the international break despite the draw against Everton, and now we just need to see us go out there and pick up 3 points on a regular basis. We've got big games coming up on the horizon. It starts here today, and if we do get 3 points, there's no reason why our season can't end up being a success.
Absolutely right. Yeah, it's important that we mention that squad game, because it is going to be tough running. There's a lot of players that are going to play a big, big part. Someone that I cannot wait to see on the pitch more often for Chelsea is Noni Madueke. He's been speaking in the build-up to this one.
International break is good, but it's best to be back here at Cobham preparing for what we're trying to do in the last bit of the season. It's always good to be with the national team, and yeah, I enjoyed myself, got a couple assists, a goal, so yeah, full of confidence coming back to Chelsea now to just hopefully replicate that type of form. Sure, it's always nice as a winger, attacker, forward to contribute to goals, and obviously, in essence, that's what we're meant to do and we're paid to do. So. No, it was great to have that sort of impact, and I just hope I can do it for Chelsea and contribute to wins in the near future. Very exciting. Obviously, there's a lot of games. I think 11 games this month. So yeah, no, a lot of football to be played, a lot of things to decide still. So yeah, bring it on. We're still fighting on 2 fronts. We want to do as well as we can in the league, and obviously Champions League is definitely a cup where I think we can go far in. And so yeah, it's a great time to be a Chelsea player, I think.
Okay, today we welcome Sean, James, Neil, Harrison and Fabian, who will be presented with the Chelsea Picture shares
Build-up continuing here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea take on Aston Villa, 5:30 in the Premier League. We've just seen Thiago Silva speaking to a few mascots, and me and the boys keep talking about. I mean, how lucky are we to have him at this football club? Disappointed he's not involved at the moment because of the injury, but what a player, what a man, Sam.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's still involved in terms of, you know, the energy he brings to the squad. Just having him in the team is motivation enough to know, you know, you can't let the standards drop. You know, he's going to try and fight for his position straight away, so everyone needs to keep those standards. And yes, coming out to speak to some of the mascots and just see the fans, you know, lift the energy, do you know what I mean? And he looked good. Some of the still said, mate, I need that jacket.
I was going to say, he's about 10 years older than me, and he looks about 5 years younger than me. He looks unbelievable, to be fair. But Quaker, just talking about that, because we saw in the week, I've mentioned it again, but that N'Golo Kanté behind closed doors performance, Mason Mount and Thiago Silva celebrating it and cheering him on from the touchline. So important to have characters and figures around the football club like Thiago Silva. Today, whoever's playing in the back three, you've got Thiago giving you a pep talk 5 minutes before kickoff. I think I could fill in.
100%. And there's been so many changes on the pitch and off the pitch for Chelsea. And what you need is people within the dressing room to quiet down that noise. We've got those experienced players, and Thiago Silva is one of those. He's played in Milan, he's played in Paris, he's now here in West London. And he's done it all in the game. And the fact that we've got players like him, we've got players like Aston Villa in the dressing room, and where there's so much changing for Chelsea, they're very, very important to make sure that we can get the results on the pitch, which is the most important.
You know, just mentioning that, because I know we mentioned it a little bit earlier on when we were sat down there talking about the players that have captained their country over the international break. I think there was 9 players that captained their countries at respective age groups that are in the Chelsea squad or camp or under the sort of Chelsea banner at the moment. Players that are out on loan as well. But how important is that, Sam? Because leadership is so big in football. People talk about, oh, this team hasn't got leadership whenever a team's not doing well, or they're lacking leaders within a dressing room. You look through that Chelsea dressing room, you've got 5 or 6 that have captained their country at major events. Players that have captained teams in Champions League finals. Thiago Silva's won everything. And then you've got a group of younger players that are coming through at 20, 21 that are captaining their countries. How important is that impact from the older players to sort of learn the ropes as a leader? Because there's so many players that could quite easily go through their careers being on the peripheries, but you can't when you're an elite footballer. You've got to be a stand-up and be counted kind of person. Yeah,
it shows maturity, because I feel like you said, you know, when you're a leader, you've got to think about the whole team. Yes, as an individual, you want to do well, but you want the team to do well. And if you have that type of mentality, like bleeding through the team, that's going to be amazing, especially when you've got a team that have been put together throughout the season, been through the highs and lows. But like you said, because of the leaders that are from the older lot, but also the younger lot as well, you mesh that together, that is a recipe for magic on the football pitch, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a great thing to have.
So important, and that leadership as well is going to be important, Kwaku, because the running is quite difficult. You look at it on paper for Chelsea, you know, Liverpool in the week, still got Man United to play, we've got to go to Arsenal, I think we've got Man City again, haven't we, at some point? You know, there's a lot of games that we've got, a lot of big hitters that we've got to take on. Real Madrid in the Champions League. If you go on a run, all of a sudden people are talking about Chelsea for next season, and this season you're not closing the door on European qualification. So what are your expectations, and what are your predictions for the rest of the campaign?
I don't want to put any pressure on it. Obviously, as Chelsea fans, we've got European pedigree, and we're so used to doing well in the Champions League. And obviously, we've all got one eye on that tie against Real Madrid. But there are important league games to play, and top 4 might be out of our grasp right now, but you never know if you go on a run. So it starts with a performance today. But my expectation is just to see patterns of play, see good football, and see the beginnings of potable, really, in terms of our players understanding each other and understanding the formation and understanding their teammates as well. It's all about cohesion when it gets to top level football. All the players have got the ability, it's about meshing them together. So I want to see patterns of play, especially out here today, where we've got players like Mudryk who've got things to prove. And so if we see that between now and the end of the season, then we should be in a good place.
What's interesting to me, Sam, as well, is one of the big criticisms of sort of outside in from Chelsea is that the formation's changing from week to week. It's a 4, it's a 3, it's a 5, it could be any of the above. For the last 4 or 5 weeks consistently, it's been a 3 at the back. You know, away at Dortmund we played very well, and from then on it's been a 3 at the back. Chelsea are growing into it, and they get the best out of Reece James and Ben Chilwell when you play a 3 at the back. Marc Cucurella as well when he plays wider. Is that important for Chelsea now that they've found sort of an identity, and Graham Potter can start to sort of stamp his authority onto that?
Yeah, 100%. You know, there's always going to be criticism. You know, we're Chelsea Football Club. There's pressure to perform in every single game. We're basically the favourites every game that we go into. So when you're playing like that and you're not really finding the form, you're not really getting the results that you want, there's going to be questions. But like you said, we're playing 3 at the back now. We're understanding each other. Players are starting to understand players that they didn't know or didn't play with consistently before. But like you said, if we can maintain that form and get more games in under our belt and get the results, then no one can complain.
No, absolutely right, absolutely right. Still plenty to play for this season. It's never a dull day at Chelsea Football Club. We've got Liverpool midweek, Real Madrid in the next couple of weeks in the Champions League as well. So yeah, make sure you stick around for the journey because it is going to be one, and I cannot wait for the next couple of weeks. It is going to be very, very exciting. Right now though, let's do shoot, pass, clear. So we'll give you 3 scenarios. Shoot is the most likely, so the one you'd shoot on. Pass is the situation that might happen, might not happen, and you clear the situation that you really don't think will happen. So, boys, shoot, pass, clear. Let's have a little look at the 3 scenarios this afternoon if you're playing along at home or wherever you are watching this afternoon. So, you've got Chelsea to score first and last goal of the game. First player to score first goal for the club, so it could be Enzo, could be Mudryk, could be Cucurella, as Craig mentioned a little bit earlier on. Ben Chilwell, 5 open play crosses. Boys, what are you looking at?
For shoot, we know how important our wing-backs are. Ben Chilwell was one of those wing-backs, and he is one of the best left wing-backs in the world. I fully expect him to cross at least 5 times this game. So I'm going for a shoot 5 or more crossing for Ben Chilwell. Pass, I'll probably go for the Chelsea player to score his first goal. And then clear, what's the other clear option?
Clear is Chelsea to score first and last goal of the game.
Yeah, I'll go for that. I don't want to tempt fate. I think we're going to win this game, but I don't want to put too much pressure on it. So that's my clear option.
Pick one. It's
Okay, go on, Sam. Go on.
I actually fully agree. I fully agree. I think I wouldn't want us to not score the last goal, but I'm hoping that, we're cruising free and then we give them a little consolation at the end. But yeah, I'd love to see a Chelsea player score their first goal in front of the bridge. That would be amazing for the atmosphere as well.
The noise would be incredible. I remember Joao Felix obviously scored his first Chelsea goal at Stamford Bridge. Obviously, he scored before for Chelsea. But
give us a Mudryk goal. Give us a Mudryk goal.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? The noise inside Stamford Bridge today would be electric if that was the case. Right, then let's move on to trivia. Going to test our brains as a team here. This is always the hardest part of the show, to be fair. So again, if you know the answer, get involved in the show. Let us know what the answer is in the comments down below. We beat Aston Villa 8-0 and 7-1 at home in the Premier League. Which player scored 5 goals across those 2 games? Now. I remember.
Like we should know this.
I think that was a season under. Was that the season under Carlo where we were free scoring? And absolutely ran away with it. So Nicolas Anelka bagged that season. Drogba was scoring goals. Frank Lampard is always a safe. Frank is always a safe bet. And I know he scored. He obviously broke the record at Villa. So.
I want to go with Frank. Again, it could be a number of options in that season. We scored so many goals, but I'm going Frank.
So it's a 3 and a 2 in it, or a 4 and a 1. So we'll get to it in a little while.
That's a tough one though, because that means that someone definitely scored a hat-trick.
Okay, all right. We'll have a think about it. It's definitely, you're definitely watching, going. I know exactly who it is. So yeah, pop it in the comments and let us know. Get us involved, boys. Let's talk about the rest of the Premier League campaign. Then, obviously, it's important. It's quite a lot to go on with. So. Is it important today to set the tone as well ahead of Tuesday, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said before, every game is a cup final. We want to finish the season as strong as possible. Didn't start well. We've had a good patch, before the international break. Some players have had incredible international breaks as well. So let's keep that momentum. We keep that momentum. We finish strong. We finish strong in the Champions League as well. Maybe going to win it. And next season, anything is possible.
Absolutely right. Anything is possible. As you can see, the players are out at Stamford Bridge. The lights are on. It's getting a little bit darker inside Stamford Bridge. Everybody's very, very excited for it. Wherever we go, Trivago is with us. And now they bring us to Stamford Bridge to follow the warm-up of the Blues for our match against Aston Villa.
Okay, Stamford Bridge is here at the old Chelsea. Starting 11. In goal, number 1, Kerr. Number 5, Fernandez. Number 8, your captain, Stamford Bridge.
fantastic achievement for the women's team. An amazing night. Really pleased for Emma and everybody connected with the team. It just shows how amazing football is. Just the drama and the emotion and the occasion. It was fantastic. So really well done to everybody there. Yeah, absolutely. Stamford Bridge, European nights. They seem to create special moments, special memories, and that will certainly go down as one of the amazing ones. We obviously hope and we look forward to creating our own.
Yeah, I was going to say, in 2021 when Chelsea won the Champions League last time, the women's team got to the final as well. It'd be nice if there was a similar symmetry there. I'm sure we'd be hoping for that.
Well, yeah, history says that two teams have got to the final, the men's and the women's. So hopefully this year we can go on better and both teams can be successful. Well, the international break just comes at a time when it comes. To be honest with you, it's frustrating after the Everton game because we felt that we dropped 2 points and we had to use the time to analyse how we can improve, which we've done. Obviously, you can't control what happens when the guys go away. It is what it is. Thankfully, a lot of them have come back in a good place and most importantly healthily. So we've got a good squad to move forward with. We've worked with the guys that are a little bit problems in terms of injuries. So now we're just looking forward to the game at the weekend. I had a couple of days with my family, just a bit of downtime just to recharge, and then, as I said, analysing the games. That's how I spent my time, analysing the games, preparing for the next one, and looking forward to the weekend and everything that's coming up in terms of a really exciting April. Yeah, it's a really nice feeling, nice atmosphere at the training grounds. Everybody's returning. There's a good spirit. There's a good togetherness. There's a good support for each other. Everyone's happy to see each other, so it's really positive. It's been a good couple of days. I think it's really positive from a leadership perspective that we have so many of our young players captaining their countries. It bodes well for the future. I think it's important that we can develop not only good footballers but good people, and the more leadership we have in the group, the better it is for us. So delighted for that. I know Benoit captained his country. I think Carney did. I think David Fofana did. And a couple of the on loan boys did. I think Levi Colwell did. So really pleased for them. Yeah, very exciting upcoming games. Aston Villa first, so we focus on that. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're disappointed to drop points against Everton. We felt there were aspects of our performance that were good, but clearly still some work to do in terms of getting the 3 points. But against Aston Villa, it's going to be an exciting game. I think really exciting game. Looking forward to seeing our supporters and really going for the 3 points. Yeah, really exciting. April and May, 2 months, and we'll look to extend it as far as we can. Focus on the next match is going to be our approach, but really excited to look forward to the games and the intensity of the competition. It's going to be really exciting.
Chelsea manager Graham Potter speaking ahead of Aston Villa's trip here to Stamford Bridge. The players are just departed their warm-up. Well, the Aston Villa players, our Chelsea players are still out on the pitch going through their final preparations. Sam, let's have a little look at the wherever you go wall. So wherever you've been watching, wherever you're looking in from today, wherever you're supporting Chelsea from, do get involved using that hashtag wherever you go, thanks to our friends at Trivago. Let's have a little look, see where we've got some people checking in from today then. So we've got hello from Uganda, amazing. Hello from Kenya as well. Nigeria, awesome. So wherever you are, wherever you're looking in from today, wherever you're watching from, wherever you're supporting Chelsea, get involved. It's nice to see, Sam, isn't it? Again, it's a massive game Saturday evening against Aston Villa when the rest of the Premier League fixtures have kind of done for the day. All eyes on Chelsea to do your business.
Feels like we've had a lot of these games this season, under the lights, everyone's watching Chelsea, but that's what comes with being such a big club, and I think you've got to embrace the energy and know that, like I said, every game's a cup final. You've got to get the 3 points and do everything that you can to get those points.
And also as well, you look at the teams around us in the table at the moment, teams that would be competing for European football for. Bournemouth have beaten Fulham today. Brentford dropped points against Brighton. Both from playing each other dropped points, so that's helpful. Liverpool obviously getting beaten by Manchester City earlier in the day, so things have lined up fairly well for Chelsea. Liverpool getting beaten is a big one. Obviously we played them on Tuesday here at the Bridge, so maybe there is a little bit of floor's yours, Chelsea. Go and show us what you can do. Yeah,
there's still a lot to play for. We've said it, the season's not over. We can climb the table, we can get in those European spots, and we can gain the momentum that we need to play in the Champions League and just lift the spirits a little bit more. Like Graham Potter has constantly said, that the fans have been so patient, have been so supportive through our tough period. So hopefully they can get the result and make this crowd happy.
Absolutely. Craig, who's gone up to join Jason and Ben for first half commentary, by the way, so that's why he's not here at the moment. He's not putting shin pads and his boots on. He was itching to, bless him. We've all been doing that, to be fair. There's one that's all over here. You go, steady. Hey, come on. Again, I might not be here next week. I'm looking at a contract, to be fair, at least a 3.5 year. But there's a lot of players, when we're seeing the Aston Villa players warming up, a lot of players to sort of point towards and look towards. There's quite a lot going on. You might be able to hear in the background Lee Parker's getting on the mic, because there's something very, very cool going on, which will get you very, very second, actually. So stay around shortly for that, because we'll see you in a second. Because at the moment, you can see John Terry and Roberto Di Matteo are pitch side, and Lee Parker is going to be speaking to them very, very shortly. In fact, I'm going to hand you over to Lee Parker now to talk you through exactly what's going to be going on.
Okay, welcome back pitchside. In a few moments' time, we are going to be announcing something pretty amazing, and to help us do so, well, we're going to be joined by a couple of Chelsea legends. Take a look. Okay, Stamford Bridge, make some noise, and please welcome two of your favourites, the one and only John Terry and Roberto Di Matteo.
Am I going first? Or? Yeah, why not?
I'll tell you what, John, always a fantastic reaction. What is it like to be back?
Incredible to be back. It's been a long time, actually, so it's fantastic to be pitch side, and hopefully we get the win today.
Robbie, you've always had such a special relationship with these supporters. What is it like to be back here at the Bridge?
Yeah, it's always full of emotion when we come back to the Stamford Bridge to watch the games and watch the team and support the team as well.
Gentlemen, we're here to launch something very special. The 9th of September here at Stamford Bridge, we'll be hosting the Legends of Europe game, pitting Chelsea against our old friends, Bayern Munich, and it'll be to raise funds for two very special causes, the Chelsea Foundation, also the Royal Marsden, that looked after Gianluca Vialli, of course. John, it's going to be an incredible occasion, isn't it, for two very important places. From your perspective, John, what's it going to be like to be involved in something like that?
Yeah, it's going to be incredible to be involved in, especially for Luca, and show our respects to him. Obviously, 2012 was such an important year for this football club and what Robbie and the guys done. Interested, I'm actually going to be playing this game.
I don't know what you mean.
Full kit and everything.
Full kit and everything. Your words, not mine. Robbie, as we mentioned, it'll be against Bayern Munich once again. Tell us what it's going to be like for you to be back in the Chelsea dugout to face them one more time.
Well, I think it's going to be great to see all the squad again and sort of relive the memories of 2012. I think it was a historic day for the team and for the club, and so it's a moment that connects us for the rest of our lives. And I can also announce that JT is going to play this game, okay?
And John, you alluded to it already, but an opportunity to pay tribute to the one and only Gianluca Vialli in front of so many people that loved and adored him.
I think for all of us, me personally, so grateful. Luca was the one that gave me my chance at this football club in an FA Cup game in a Carling Cup game against Aston Villa a very long time ago. So personally, I'm very grateful for that. He done amazing things for this football club, and what he showed the younger players at that time coming through was incredible. These guys were great examples, and Luca's a very sad loss to the world of football. He was a great man, and it's going to be a great opportunity for us to show our respects.
Very well said. And John, we can't let you go. Absolutely. We can't let you go, John, without mentioning the small fact that you've been nominated for the Premier League Hall of Fame alongside two of your friends, Ashley Cole and Petr Cech. What an honour that must be for you.
Delighted to be honoured and recognised for it. It's obviously fantastic to be involved in. Hopefully I can get the nod this year. If not, hopefully it comes soon. But I've said it before, a huge thank you to the supporters that kind of pulled me through year after year, and I'll be forever grateful to you all.
Absolutely. They love you. You love them, guys. Make sure you get your votes in to get JT into the Premier League Hall of Fame. Once again, please show your love for two true Chelsea legends, John Terry and Roberto Di Matteo.
An incredible noise inside Stamford Bridge. Two absolute legends, and you can see them involved in the Legends of Europe clash. Chelsea versus Bayern Munich. Ticket news coming soon, 9th of September 2023 here at Stamford Bridge. Sam, that's one to look forward to already, mate.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game. I can't wait to see who else is going to be playing, to be honest. John Terry said he's going to put the full kit on, get involved as well. We would love to see that. Di Matteo in the dugout against Bayern Munich. We know what happened, the legendary night that we had there. So yeah, it's going to be fun, man.
Absolutely, cannot wait for that one. Yeah, ticket news will be on sale very, very shortly. So yeah, keep an eye on Chelsea's social media, chelseafc.com for all the information about that. Get your tickets as soon as they're about, because they are going to fly. Chelsea Bayern Munich is always one to line up and get ready in your calendar. 9th of September for that one. Chelsea Legends versus Bayern Munich Legends, right here at Stamford Bridge. Right now, though, we're talking about Chelsea versus Aston Villa in the Premier League. 5:30 kickoff, so only moments away. So let's hand you over to our commentary team, Ben Andrews, Jason Cundy and Kwaku in very, very shortly. They'll be taking you through commentary of Chelsea versus Aston Villa. So, Sam, one final thing then before we pass it over, because you can see the tunnel was a little bit delayed for a second, so we'll see that in a second. So, in fact, sorry, mate, they're coming out now, so I'll pass you over to our commentary team. Over to you, boys.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the end of this Premier League Saturday, and we hope it's a happy ending for the Blues, back in action after, well, the best run for a long time. 3 wins and a draw, even though the draw was annoying here before the international interruptions came, but it was a nice little spell, and we are here hoping to pick up, not quite where we left off, but almost where we did, just without that goal from Ellis Sims. The teams are in the tunnel. I'm joined by Kwaku and Jason. One of them is a debutant commentator, the other one has been here a little bit longer. Afternoon, gents.
Welcome, Kwaku. I know Kwaku. Kwaku is one of the top producers at TalkSport, so Kwaku and I go back a long way.
Well, we have just seen John Terry and Roberto Di Matteo on the pitch here, talking about the September Legends match that's going to happen here. And the players are just waiting, a little belated, I think. John McGinn is there at the mouth of the tunnel with smiles on in the Villa claret. And we hope that the Villa improvement isn't going to continue today, because they've actually been pretty good. The last time we saw them was right at the end of the Steven Gerrard tenure. And actually, to be honest, Chelsea got a bit lucky that day. Without Kerr having an absolute blinder, arguably his best game in the Chelsea shirt, it may well have been a different result. But that was part of a lovely winning run for Graham Potter early doors in his time in charge. Since that day, Villa have been much improved, 9 wins out of 18. Chelsea have won 7 out of 23. And Jason Cundy was making the point to me earlier on. 12 places apart, did you say, Jason, after that game? And now it's goal difference.
So, yeah, the 2-0 victory, which I thought we were quite fortunate, actually, to get. They had a number of really good chances. In the end, you remember, it's a Tyrone Mings really poor defensive header that Mace took advantage of. And then the free kick as well, which I felt Emiliano Martinez should have done better. But actually, after that, there were 12 places. Gerrard moves on. They're getting a top draw, man. It just goes to show, actually, get yourself organised, know your squad, what's the best way of getting out of this squad, and look where they are now, just goal difference separation.
Liquidator is playing at Stamford Bridge. The teams come out right in the middle of the Premier League table. Beneath them, an almighty scrap that thankfully neither of these two are involved in, to do with relegation. You'll have seen some cracking results today and amazing games. We hope for good entertainment here. Chelsea players walking out. 3 changes, with Cucurella, Loftus-Cheek and Mudryk coming in. Fofana injured, out. Badiashile bench. Pulisic bench. What do you make of the side, Kwaku?
It's an interesting one. There's been a lot of debate in the pre-match about whether it's going to be a 3 at the back or a 5 at the back. I think that this Chelsea side, no matter the lineup, should go out there, should have enough to beat an Aston Villa side who are, like you say, in decent form under Unai Emery. There's only been 3 teams in the Premier League that picked up more points than Aston Villa since Emery's come in. So Chelsea have got a task on their hands, but with the starting lineup, I'm very, very confident we can get 3 points.
They have Ollie Watkins out there again. He needs 1 more for 10 goals in the Prem. He's just had a great run, actually, scoring against City, Arsenal, Everton and West Ham in quick succession. 4 in 5 for Ollie Watkins. And he really caused Chelsea some problems, actually, at Villa Park. The players here are meeting one another. The Chelsea group led once again by Kovacic. I believe this is the 5th straight game that Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez have started together, and maybe there's no surprise therefore that bit of consistency has brought good results in there. Mudryk getting another start, and Kepa just checking his gloves down there. Only goal difference apart, and a couple of changes for Villa. I should just touch on that for people who are interested. Ashley Young in for Matty Cash, who apparently got injured on international duty for Poland, in case you